Hey there, welcome back to the table. All right, some corrections, which I was expecting was going to happen, but I didn't expect this one to be missed by me because I even went through the trouble of explaining it. Oh, excuse me. This one right here. The stalwart keyword means that it can't take more than one damage. So when I shot it with the bow and did like 4 damage to it, I was only able to do 1. So I killed the spider way too easily. Beyond that, I think I did everything else okay. That's the part that would have changed the battle, if you will. But I hope you can appreciate and understand we were doing really well. And with all the summons and stuff like that, I would have been able to chip away at the spider pretty easily. I don't know how to retcon that other than just saying, you know what, it's our first game. Let's not lose sleep over it. But I got to pay attention to things like that. Also, I did clarify, even though he didn't do it, that steal keyword means that the item gets destroyed. You don't get it back. I had to go to Board Game Geek for it. But anyways, we're at a spot here where we're going to... now, somebody also mentioned that the card had the flooding on it. Oh, let's see. It says, if the weather is flooding, you can only move 1 hex during your move actions. That's not the one I just did. Sorry. That's not the one I just did. We were doing... Oh, I never put it away. We were doing this one. Yeah, I don't see anything about flooding or weather on this one. I did verify in the rulebook that we did it right. We have to look at the peaceful one to get the weather update. But yeah, that one would be brutal. You can only move 1 space because it's flooding. All right, it is day 4. So I got the dial on day 4. We can only move 2 spaces while it's flooding, but that's okay. We're going to go 1, 2, and we're going to get to Deadwater Village, which is one of the milestones. And we have to do this by day 4 per the recommendation. I mean, there's no punishment if we don't, but it's definitely something we need to do. So I see page 23 is what I got written down on my note card. And then 1 second. Okay, so we're doing swamp storming. This one here. And, you know, we start in Leavin, as you see. We're going to travel to any of these locations, which we just talked about, recommended by day 4, which we're hitting it just on day 4. And then it says use as many enemies as possible. In the following quest steps, you'll be required... And then we got to set up this skirmish, which is basically the exact same skirmish we just did. The enemies, of course, are on the outside, and then we're going to be coming in from the other side. So I'm going to just set this down off to the side here. And then we're going to move this map out of the way and get another skirmish going. Now, when it says set up as many enemies as possible, I would set up all level 1s. So I have a feeling that's not what it's asking me to do. So here we go. We got our entrance over here. And we got our Breton in the back. Our summoner in the back. Whoops. Archer in the front. Poker in the rear. And then we have 2 summons, right? We have this Marauder. Now, the way the rules work is if there's nowhere to put him, you're going to put him on the moment that you can put him on. So he'll spawn back here when somebody makes a free spot. And then we're going to go ahead and put this one there, like that. And then it's just as simple as what it's saying is we have so if I go 1, 2, 3 to here, we have a regular loot, and then we have a legendary loot, like so. And then, yes, so we are at 5 experience points times 4. That means we have 20. We have 20 baddie points on this one. Now, here's the problem. I should just draw a level 20 out of the bag, and then that's it. But this is saying when deploying enemies, use as many... Oh, it's not as many enemies as possible. It's use as many humanoids as possible. That's what that's saying. So I think... I don't know how to interpret that. So does that mean when I'm drawing from the bag, I just ignored like the Phaedra or anything else? This is where chip theory loses me, because they do stuff like this, and I know it's supposed to be, they're trying to make each scenario unique and different, but then they write their sentences where it makes no sense, and it can be interpreted in 30 different ways. And then you get on Board Game Geek and Rule Lawyer it. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to point out. This was me whining when I shouldn't have been. On the back of the tutorial guide, oh, look at that. This is everything that happens in a day. So we did our new day phase where we moved to day 4. We do an overland phase where we move the party. And now we're triggering our encounter. So we either have a quest encounter, which is what we're doing right now. That takes priority. A town encounter, you've seen us do that one. And then the overland is peaceful, conflict, and I know I always say chaos, but it's unstable. And then we roll our die and then do whatever it says. And then we have a reward phase, which I keep talking about. That's where we gain our rewards, if possible. And then we can untrain some skills. We can gain our advancements. We can track our quest progress. And then we do end of day, where we figure out the weather for tomorrow, and then we rest. So, very cool. I am so glad to the viewer who pointed that out. I did not realize that the tutorial had that on the back, and that is exactly what I was looking for, and that should have been, in my opinion, here on the Adventurer Turn reference. But I understand this is trying to give you a reference for when you're in combat, what you're supposed to do. The steps in combat to me are easier than this. Okay. So it just says use as many humanoids as possible. I think that's a great interpretation. Since we're only doing, since we're at 20, 5 times 4, I'm going to be fighting a single creature, a level 20 creature, and that's it. So it also means I'm not going to get any more tokens for this quest. But that's okay. We'll get plenty before the thing's over. This I have to go to a town for. And then this just hasn't happened yet. So we're going to go to a level 20. This will be fun. Let's see what we roll. All right. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Let's go. And here it is. That's a level 10. I flip it over to a 20. And right there, you see that symbol? That little skull symbol? That's what it's telling us. Use as many of those symbols as possible, which is the humanoid symbol. And I think what it was meaning to say is if I would have drawn a different symbol, like a beast or the Phaedra, just draw another one. So we're going to draw this one, which is an Argonian behemoth. And you can see he has 8 health. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he's got a lot of keywords on him. And he goes right here. That's where he starts. Okay, so the keywords on him, he has days, which I think we already, it applies the days effect, which means you can't move and attack at the same time, or attack and move. So you could do one or the other, but not both. Okay, that's what days is. What's the next keyword? Divert. Unit cannot lose its last hit point unless it already has one. So I guess you have to knock it down to 1 hit point, and then you have to hit it one more time. All right? Watch me forget that one. Enfeeble 3. Enfeeble is, after this unit's engaged, its target gains that many light fatigue. So whoever he attacks is going to get 3 light fatigue. None of those are insurmountable, but it's definitely making him interesting. And there you go. So this is our first quest. And I believe we have to do 3 of them before all is said and done. Yeah, we have to do 3 clashes in 3 different towns, each with escalating difficulty. Now, this one doesn't say any difficulty other than it's just your normal experience, which is fine. All right, so just remember, our summon will come on the board when there's actually room. And the summons don't take their turn until after we're done with our turns anyways. So that should help make it all make sense. And I am going to go grab some caffeine, and then we will get started. Okay. And one other thing I picked out in between the videos here. I've been trying to equip as many of these with the overtax ability as possible. The Breton can only do this once per battle. So I can do that overtax and not lose the item, but I can't then do this overtax the next round. It doesn't work like that. So there's only one overtax you can do for the entire battle. And that sort of changes my plans there, because I was planning on loading that person up with all these overtax items and really take advantage of that. And it makes the Breton not as good as I originally thought it would be. Because the whole idea of the Breton was, man, I could really abuse these overattacks situations, but not quite. So I'm glad to have 2 of them, because it does give me some versatility, but I could probably give one of those armor items to somebody else and let them benefit from it instead of me. So anyways, getting back to this. What is it that I need to do? So my feedback so far has been with the cards and all the text on all the cards, and then the class abilities and all the text on that, it is real easy to forget something. So if you're soloing this game and you're soloing 4 characters, it is extremely easy to forget. Now, the game absolutely allows you to just control 1 character. And if you do, in this case, I would have 1 character times 5 experience, so I'd be fighting a level 5 baddie by myself. And that is totally allowed. And as you know, it would go from a level 20 down to a level 5, so I'd be fighting somebody a lot easier. If I ever go to those towns, I'm still limited to just 2 actions, but I'm doing whatever 2 benefits me the most. I mean, those are all within your realm of choices. Like I said, I would not be happy, because I want to know what all these classes feel like to play. So that's why I'm abusing myself a little bit, but I do feel overwhelmed right now with the amount of things I have to remember, especially after I've gone to work all day and thought about other things, and now I'm trying to refocus on this. If I did this all in 1 session, maybe I'd be better off. So it is a complaint, but it's more of a, you got to understand your limitations as a player. And I'm also pre-apologizing in my video if I screw up. Okay, so we get to go first, which is always nice, unless, of course, they tell you you're ambushed or something. So then the question becomes, who is going to go first? And I think I want to do, obviously, it's got to be the 2 in the front, because the ones in the back can't move anywhere. So the archer is always a great idea. I do have the ability to pick a lock for something and then move 5 more spaces. The thing is I want to pick this lock, because this is a more difficult lock to pick, and I get to pick once for free. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to start with the archer, and I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. And we're going to pick this lock, but we're not going to use my free lock pick. And I do have a ledger domain die, which I'm going to roll, along with my 3 lockpick dice. And the item we're lockpicking is this one, which I get 3 tries. I have to get a 2, 4, and 5. So let's go ahead and roll. Oh, and before the turn started, I always forget to do this. I get to replenish 2 dice. So everything is refreshed at the start of the turn. And I am in ranged. Until I tell you otherwise, we're always going to be in ranged combat mode. All right, so I got the 2. I got the 4. I need to get a 5. I rolled a 6. And what this symbol does, just to remind you, is with the ledger domain skill, I can adjust any rolled lockpick die by 1. So I can take this 6 and make it into a 5 without having to take any fatigue, and then boom, 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 our lock is picked in 1 roll. And then, of course, this goes into the fatigue. So it'll be down here as a exhausted die. But there we go. We were able to unlock this item pretty easily. And then I'll unlock this one next turn. And we got the Glyph of Bashing. So I can enchant the deck. Next time a card from the deck would be used for a lockpick check, that check is automatically successful, and then this is discarded. I'm not going to use that this turn because I still have my free lockpick ability. But man, that's a nice one to have. So I'm going to put it in his inventory, or her inventory. And we still get to engage. So I'm going to engage here with the enemy. And at the start of my turn, I was not within range, so I don't automatically deal 2 damage. I have 4 tenacity. I do not have the ability to do venom and arrows. I got to have 1 more tenacity to do venom arrows. I could do lethal arrow. Roll 2 enemy combat dice against a targetable enemy. Rolled damage is true damage. That's called lethal arrow. All right, so I have that as an option. So what I'm going to do is I have 4 stamina dice, and I'm going to do these 2 along with these 2 as my 4 dice. We're going to go ahead and attack. So let's do it. So I have 1, 2, and this is 2 more for 4, and 1 more for 5. That's 5 damage. And then this guy has 2 shields. So that means we just did 3 net damage to him. Oh man, these things, they're so slippery. It's like the bottom of a pair of skis. It's like they waxed all these chips. All right. So okay. So we did 3 damage. Very happy with that. And yeah, I am going to spend 3 tenacity. So we're going to go from 4 down to 1. And this says roll 2 enemy combat dice against the targetable enemy. And also I'm going to put these in first to the queue, and these in last. And then I got to get these dice out. Not the easiest thing to do. 1, is it 2 or 3? 2. So that's 1, 3 damage, and it's true damage. So I just did 1, 2, 3 more against him. All right, and I already forgot what divert is. Give me a second. Yep. Means I can't kill him unless he's down to 1 hit point. All right, so my archer is clearly my MVP on the team. This guy is a damage dealer, if there is ever one. But we'll see. We'll see how the other characters start to, pull their load. It's turn's over. So now we got the Nord's turn. So with the Nord, I have all kinds of dice in the backlog here. He gets one of his sword and shield dice. A light die goes away. And you can see he's got a whole bunch more dice in his queue. But that's how it works. So we're going to take the light die. I just need to move some stuff around here. Okay, so he has just 2 stamina. So he can only move 2 spaces, and I can do a 1-2 like that. And by the way, this behemoth hits an infinite number of targets 1 space away, and he goes after the lowest hit points first. So he can move 1-2 and hit both of these guys at this moment. All right, now we're at the Breton, and the Breton is going to go, and he can go 2 spaces. So we're going to go 1-2 and just stand behind the group. So he's within range to heal them if he has to. And then the elf, here we can put the Marauder on the board now. And then the elf has 3 tenacity, and I'm going to spend 1 of her tenacity to get this Cliff Diver on the board. And we're going to do that, though, after she moves her 2 spaces. So she's going to go 1, 2, and then the Cliff Diver we'll put on the board here, like that. And then now it's their turn, and I'm going to have this guy go 1, 2. The Scamps is just going to go 1, and then the Cliff Diver 1, 2, like that. So we got ourselves the Great Wall of China up against this, and yeah, that's it. So now the level 20 gets to go, the Behemoth, and it's going to go after the lowest hit points, which is now this one. So it's going to go 1, 2, but we'll also target the Archer, and it rolls 4 dice, which is not a trivial amount of dice. And the Archer is in a little bit of a bind with that. Let me get the 2 other dice out. And remember, he rolls once against everybody. So let's go. So the Archer can... Yeah, nothing I can do about this. Okay, just going to roll 4. And you can see I got 1, 2, 3 hits, right? The Archer has no defense, so I just took 3 damage there. And then this died because he has no defense at all. So I'm okay with it because, you know, it's sort of the whole point of the summon is to just absorb the damage. But yeah, so our Archer's in trouble, but I think I got things I can do to heal it, and we will be fine. So Archer gets to go. First thing it does is at the start of the turn, it can deal 2 damage to a targetable enemy. Well, here it's going to do 1 damage because it can't do the second damage because of its divert. And he had it in Feeble 3, so 3 of these went into the Archer queue. So we got to do that. So it's going to look like this because he attacked Archer after Archer did everything. So for this round, we have 1 die recovered and 1 ledger domain. And then everything else moves down, and the Archer's got all that still in the backlog. All right, so Archer did the 2 damage. It's going to go 1, 2, and free lockpick this thing. And I just wanted to explain the lockpicking for a legendary item. You can see there's 4 numbers, but you're still only rolling 3 dice. That is because you do get to roll 4 times. You have to roll a 5 first. None of the other ones matter. The 5 has to be done first, and then once you get that 5, then these 3 numbers are available to be had. And the dice you use to get that 5 can be re-rolled. It no longer has to be, you know, locked up. So that's the reason why you can get 4 numbers with 3 dice. So you got to roll a 5, and then that die goes back in the pool to roll again for these other ones. And yes, you have 4 rolls. So if you don't roll a 5 the first time, you could theoretically roll a second time, and you're just taking your chances. And all the other rules are same in terms of like, I can manipulate, take some light fatigue to get up to a 5. Like you can do all those things. Nothing's different. It's a little bit more difficult. But since I have the ability to pick the lockpick check, and it doesn't specify that it's just for a normal item, I get this for free. And look at this. We got ourselves a potion, which this is, or a potion. The item is immediately discarded along with the scamps, and you complete this quest. Each adventurer may gain 5 tenacity, or one adventurer may promote to master. So it says immediate, so I'm going to immediately lose this item, which I guess I'm okay with. And then we get this. There's no experience points with this one, but that triggers quite a few things. The first thing, of course, is that the scamps are gone. They took their booze and ran, which I do appreciate that. That does crack me up. All right, so they got their booze and they're gone. They're like the Gremlins movie. This quest is, we got to do the reward, and it's either we gain a bunch of tenacity. Each adventurer gets 5 tenacity, or 1 promotes to master. I'm going to do the one that promotes to master, and I got to pick which one I want that to be. But here's the problem. It's not a problem. It's actually a boon. The knight here promotes to master when you complete 2 side quests with your party in a single session. That is our second side quest. So the knight promoted to master all on his own. Now here's the thing. I don't know what changed. So like this is, if there's only one enemy, deal 3 damage. If there's only one enemy, deal 3 damage. See, nothing changed. The Solemn Vow, remove a die from your cooldown track and apply a non-quest enemy within 2 hexes of you. Remove a status die, So far, they're all the same. Order's Edict, the Knights Errant. Knights Errant is not on this list. So Oathbearer's Charge, discard one of your party's side quests or 2 items and deal 10 damage. This one was discard one of your party's side quests. This is after you defeat an enemy, heal for 4. So that's the same. We added this one. He's got a new one. You may consider yourself to be any single adventure race when applying game effects that refer to adventure races. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, so you can see that upgrading to master was not that big of a deal, but some of these are nearly impossible to get. So let's look at the archer one real quick. It has to defeat an enemy that's 6 or more hexes away, which he can't do right now unless he gets another stamina. And to get another stamina requires 3 experience points. So this one will take a while to be able to do. But like, what do I gain? I don't know. They have these little ropes that show up, and I don't know what that means. Like, see how that rope's there, but there's no rope there? This is when selecting a target, increase your range by 1. This says, oh, this is enduring. Okay, so maybe the ropes are showing what changed. Roll 2 enemy combat dice. Roll damage is true damage. Okay, how's that? Oh, I bet that one's because it's cheaper. This used to cost 3. Now it costs 2. Then there's Hunter's Discipline, and then the Venom Arrows is cheaper. I actually think I want to upgrade the Archer. Let's, that's my current decision, but let's make sure. I'm going to check the other ones. The Warden, I have to defeat this with the Diving Cliff Racer, which he just killed. But if I would have defeated this guy with the Diving Cliff Racer, I'd be able to upgrade this one. That would have been a challenge. Now, the other thing is Living Vines, if I would have had more than 3, after the companion takes damage, it could have healed for 1, but it was defeated. So my Diving Cliff Racer is not alive anymore, and it's only once for battle, so I can't summon it again. So that stinks. So yeah, being able to upgrade this would give me some things, but I think it's doable. I just got to be a little bit more patient with my cliff diver and not let it charge in. And this one is Trigger Master Ritualist, the level 4 restoring light skill die. That's also a really hard one. And I could get some nice upgrades there. And a level 4 restoring die might be a while because I don't even have the level 2 at the moment. So as you can see, there's some potential, like those other ones might actually be harder for me to get. So maybe it would be wise to do that. But I'm going to do the archer one because so far the archer one I've been using more. So anyways, we're done. Archer turn. Well, no, I can engage with the archer and actually kill this guy, which is what I'm going to do. And then per the rules, you can still finish your turn in as long as the combat round, we are in combat round 2, by the way, we can still finish our turn, which means I can activate this guy and try to like heal or whatever. Now, the reason I can go with the archer is I can roll this, and remember this damages people that are adjacent to me, but I'm going to choose not to, and here's why. The archer has all these dice in its backlog, and I'm just going to be putting more dice on there, and I'm going to choose not to. I'm just going to stay where I am. Well, actually, I get a free lockpick, and then I get to move 5 spaces. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then just stop here. So then the next person gets to go is the Nord, so I can move up with the Nord and murder, death, kill him. But I may not do that either for the same reasons, because with the Nord, as you can see, I'm going to refresh 2 dice. So I get this back, and I still have 2 dice in my queue. So I'm not going to attack with the Nord either. I just think that this guy is as good as dead. So then we go to the Breton, and I'm going to move 1, 2, and we're going to heal him. I just don't know how yet. So let's look at our healer skill. I can't do this one because I wasn't next to him at the start of my turn. I can discard an item. I don't want to do that. Any one adventure in play gains 3 bonus hit points. I can do 3 tenacity for that, and I will. But the thing is I think I have these restoring light dice, which also heal people. Let's look at these. You may exhaust this die to remove 1 status die from a party member and heal them for 1. Heal each adventurer for 2. And you can see there's 4 sides to it. This is an active die. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to roll my 2 dice. I have 3 magicka, so I could potentially roll 3. But I'm going to roll 2. And this one, of course, means I'm going to gain a tenacity. So now I'm up to 5. And then this one is not the one I wanted. This is the one that goes into my active slot. I can remove 1 status die from a party member and heal them for 1. So it'll go in my active dice. And this stays even to the next combat. Like, that doesn't go away. So I at least have that ready for the time when somebody has like a haze. And actually, he does have a daze. The archer does. And I would not have been able to attack. I can move, but I can't attack because he has the daze marker on him. That's what this thing did when he attacked. I need to pay attention. Okay, but I am going to use the thing that I'm going to spend the 3 tenacity. That drops me down to 2, and that heals 3 on the archer, and the archer's back to full health. And that's why I bring a cleric along, right? Is to do something exactly like that. And then this character here can move up 2 and roll. I'm going to roll all 3. I don't remember what the 3rd dice does for the Daedric summoning. Sure. We're going to roll all 3 dice. And so this means we're going to gain a tenacity. So she's up to 3. And then this is a 2 and this is a 1. So let's talk about this. The one that has the 2 on it is I'm dealing that true damage to an enemy. So this guy is dead. And then the one that has the little picture of the armor is this. It goes in our active slot. At the end of any unit's turn, you may choose an adventure in an attack stance to perform an engage, rolling 2 of their available skill dice. If those dice would be exhausted, they're recovered instead, then exhaust this die. So I can have them either do an engage or recover exhausted dice, like a little quicker. I think that's a pretty cool skill. And yeah, that just goes into the active slot until it's used. And then this one goes down here because I used it to kill the monster. And then voila, we are done. So again, so many opportunities to make mistakes, but I think we did okay on this one. So let's dive into it. We have 2 experience points to be gained by everybody. How do I know? Because it's right here at the bottom. Rewards 2 experience points. So we will do that first. And then we have this bandit one we're going to be able to hand in when we get to a town. This one, not so much. So let's do the rewards first. We're going to get 2 experience points. So this is going to go up to 3. 3, 2, and 2. That's the first thing. I don't know if we're at the rewards phase because I got to look at our quest book. We did complete this, but it says battle objective is conquer, and then when completed, go to entry B40. So I got to go to B40 and see what it's telling us to do next. And that's now page 29. So I'm going to update my card with my notes. Okay. So B40. After a particularly tough match, you're approached at a cavern by an Argonian who identifies himself as the broker's new friendships. I was impressed with your performance today, he hisses, motioning the bartender to pour you another drink. How would you like some extra walking around drakes? Sensing you may be getting a break in your investigation, you listen intently as he proposes your participation in a delivery service, acting both as courier and security for items being transferred between private parties. When you hesitate before agreeing, instead of pressing the Argonian for more details, blah, 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 asking around about what we do. If you're not interested, I'll find someone else. So the quest objective is to go to the remaining towns, right? These are the same list. And initiate the following clash, which you can see here. Each enemy deploys with hit points, additional hit points equal to the party size. So everybody's going to get 4 extra hit points. So we're going to do another clash. They're just going to have 4 more hit points. And you can see it's going to have 2 more experience. Well, the good news is we're not doing that just yet. So let's bring everybody back. And then this is technically the Prodigal Bandit. And then I just pick these up. I actually like the idea of these mouse pads for your map tiles, because you always end up getting those cardboard tiles, and they are a pain in the butt, because storing them is always hard, and you always need some kind of weird solution. I'm not saying that didn't require a weird solution, because they got a big dang tray about a whole thing, but you can fold those fairly easily. All right, so we are here at Deadwater Village, but we're ending our turn. So we're in the reward phase, and per the so we did the we just gained rewards, right? So no one's untraining anything. We're gonna see if we can spend our experience points, and then we're going to do end of day, where we have to determine the weather and then heal. Everybody gets to heal 1 health and remove 1 die per the difficulty level that we chose. Everybody's at full health, so I don't have to worry about that. But the die thing, let me just get that out of the way now. You can see there's 1 die here, and then there's 1 die here, 1 die here. Oh, you get to choose any die that you want. You know, so I can, I don't know. I'm going to get rid of the fatigue. And then down here, I get rid of 1 of the fatigue. Okay, so then what am I going to do for the experience? I'm at 3 here. I can actually save the experience and, you know, get something bigger. I just don't think that's ideal. I have the restoring light skill. I have the speech skill. And that's it. So I don't know, like, what is the best thing to do? Well, with the speech skill, I can grab another speech die, but I don't know if I want to. With the restoring light, I do have the option to get this breath of life, which is a level 2. But once again, I don't have anything that's going to let me attack. What I really need to do is in a town, it'd be nice to get a skill that lets me attack. But the problem is getting another skill is going to be tough. Because where am I going to put it? Am I going to cover up my magicka slots or what am I going to do with it? So if anything, the Breton is never going to be a damage dealer. And so if that's the case, then I better make him a darn good healer. So I will go with the level 2. It's called a Breath of Life. So let me grab that. I'm seeing, yeah. So this is the Breath of Life die. And that would go here for 2 experience points. So he still has 1 left. I could add another speech die. Now, it's not going to be the same as the 2 that I already have, but I could do it. Or I can add another stamina, which gives me more movement points. I think the level 2 restore is the best move. So here you can see, select an adventure in range and then roll X combat dice. Heal that adventure for that amount of hit point damage rolled. So if I get, this one here, I can roll 4 combat dice and heal them for that much. That, to me, is really good. In fact, I would like to maybe even have 2 of those. But right now I have 1. And then when it gets to level 3, you can see there's Honor for the Dead. You can place this in a cooldown track, and at the end of their turn, they heal for that much, and then reduce their die by 1. And if it's reduced to 0, they get a stealth status. And then the die is drained, which is pretty cool. Draining the die is tough to get back, though. You got to go to an inn. The Rush Ceremony. And you can see there's different sides to it, but heal an adventure to full. Deploy a level 5 enemy. Set your hit points to 1. Heal a different party member. Take up to 3 hit point chips from each adventure and redistribute them. Those are all like blood pack things. And then this last one, Rite of Passage. After resolving your recovery step, you may drain this die. Your turn immediately ends the rest of the round. You cannot lose hit points or gain status dice. After the end of the round, heal all adventures to full. Then the last one, Master Ritualist. After an adventure is defeated, including yourself, you may immediately drain this die and set the health to 5. So getting up to level 4 would be nice because you could resurrect somebody. But I'm also noticing that this level 2 die might be all I need. Like, getting to level 3 and level 4 doesn't seem all that worth it. And maybe it might be worth it to have some kind of skill where I can add 2 dice here to just do some basic attack. I'm going to have to look into that, because being a pure healer, I'm not so sure is the right call. But anyways, for now, I'm saving the 1 experience point, because there's really nowhere to spend it. Actually, I could gain a health, but I don't think I need to. At least not yet. And then here, for the High Elf, I do like the Daedric Summoning, and I am trying to get that up. So we are at 3 experience points, and if you count the dice, right, the next one is 2 experience points, right? So we're going to do that. We're going to spend 1, 2, and now we're going to go up to level 3 on the Daedric Summoning. And we already have a level 2, because we did the Did we already have a level 2? Oh no. I made a mistake. When I bought the level 2, I took this one. That's just another level 1. My apologies. I got to get rid of this die. That was never purchased. That was never the intention. The intention was to buy a level 2, and I was choosing between the Power Stone and the Expert Summoner. That's what I was trying to do. And I think I decided to go with the Expert Summoner, even though this is really hard. You may change the result of other dice you rolled. Yeah, I was going with the Expert Summoner, which is the face of a skull. That's this one right here. You see that? So, oh, I know what I did. So you get 2 level 1 dice, and I chose one of each because I didn't know which ones to take at the start when I created the character. That's what happened. So they're not the same. I'm gonna make an executive retcon decision. I like this one better, so we're gonna just have 2 of those and call it a day. Well, maybe we're gonna have 2 of those. I don't know if I can get 2. Nope, there's only 1 of those, so I do have to have that one. So, anyways, I just have to be careful because this die is about a summoning. That's a level 2 die. But yes, we're going to get a level 3 die now. And this is our summon one that gets us a Clanfear or Atronak. That's what I was ultimately gunning for. The level 4 one is not as important, although just lets me get another summon on my side. I want to be able to start summoning this chip with my die. So let me grab it. And here she be. So we got ourselves a level 3, and that goes there. So, yeah, because these would fill those spots. And so we're down to 1 experience point now because of that. And I think what I'm going to do, I can either grab a health, and I'm thinking of grabbing a stamina. And I know that sounds crazy, but the reason I would grab a stamina is because it gives me extra movement points. Oh, stamina costs 2. The health would only cost 1. I'm going to just hold off with the 1 experience point. All right. I got to pay better attention to that person's dice. I totally forgot that we had that one particular die. All right. So now we go to this one. 2 experience points. It costs 3 to get another stamina, so I can't do that. The combat dice, you can't get extra combat dice. It is what it is. I can always grab another Ledger Domain, which I don't necessarily need to do. There's no rush. It's only 2 experience points to get the next level Archer die, and I think that is the right move. So, what is the next level? Oh, almost lost you. Almost lost you. All right. So right now we took the volley. This was our tough choice, but I went with this one. And then if we go to level 3 now, I have 3 choices. I can do the arrow barrage. I can do 2 damage to the target, then choose to roll arrow barrage again or exhaust it. You are dealt 2 true damage unless you drain all skill dice rolled during this engage. So there's one side of this that's horrible. Or it's rapid fire. Deal 2 damage to your target for each snipe die in your cooldown track prior to this engage. Snipe are the level 1 dice. And that's possible, right? Because we could roll our dice, and then this is coming in the next round while the snipe dice are in cooldown. I like the idea of the rapid fire. And then this one, at the start of your turn, you may exhaust this die to recover up to 2 bow skill dice, or up to 3 if they're all snipe. Also a good one. So these are all good. The arrow barrage that one's really risky. And then the level 4 scatter shot, you can basically hit 2 enemies. And this just reminded me, your snipe die reduces the defense by 1. It ignores 1 defense. So I would have done 1 more damage to that level 20 monster, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. I think, okay, so we're going up to level 3 here. I want to get the rapid fire die. So let me figure out what that looks like. That is this one. So we're going to add that here for 2 experience points. We're back to 0. And then last but not least is this. And with the sword and shield, we already have the heroic slash, which we didn't use. At level 3, we can do a defensive posture. After you're engaged, roll 1 enemy combat die for each damage dealt to you and deal it back. Or shield charge. Recover any number of shield dice from your active slots and deal 1 damage to each. Or deal 1 damage to your target for each hand and shield skill die you have trained. Hand and shield are all these. So I actually like, I mean, I guess this is just 2 sides of the same die, but I do like the shield charge. Then we have the power bash. The gripe I have with him, as much as I want to get the next level skill die, yeah, I'm actually going to go different with this one. I'm going to spend 2 experience points, and then we're going to grab, oh, here it is. We're going to get another stamina. I need to move more points. Moving 2 is not very helpful. And I got these arrows on backwards, but it's no big deal. All right, so we got our Nord moving a little bit better. So that brings us to the end of our day. And I know that seemed like a bit much, but the whole leveling up part is that's where all your decision making and, you know, arguably the most fun is to be had. Honestly, I sort of like the Too Many Bones leveling up better because the way the dice worked there, you know, you had these different paths for your characters. What they did here is, like with Too Many Bones, if you had Gilly, there were like 3 paths for Gilly, and you could choose any of those 3 paths you wanted, but those are your 3 paths. Like I could summon, you know, I think there was like a panther, like you had some summoning ability. You could lay down traps, or you could become an arrow, like, you know, shoot multiple arrows, right? And then you had another one that would, you know, create potions and heal people. And then you had another one that would make robots, right? That would, like, you would have this little automaton that would fight for you. I think that was the engineer. And so the person you picked dictated what they did. Here, it is just like the video game, actually. You mix and match. I mean, I'm a Breton I could be a Breton who's shooting a bow. I could be a Breton who's, you know, summoning monsters, shooting lightning bolts, or, you know, I'm a Breton that's healing. And the genericity makes it so anybody can do anything. And it's funny because that's why I did not like the video game. I'm not sure I'm caring for it that much here. But, you know, am I not having fun? Don't get me wrong, I am. It's just that I sort of like the Too Many Bones system a little better. I think largely because I do like it, because once I understand my character, I know what I need to do. Whereas here, I'm struggling because, like, do I get another skill? Like, it's almost like this one has too much choice. But anyways, let's keep going. And before we finish that last turn, we needed to do this and see, we got this for the weather. And the up arrow for the weather is sunny. So that means we're going to be able to move 3 spaces the next day. So we are on the next day. So let's go to day 5. Oh, and by the way, we're up to 7 experience points because we just gained 2 more. And I know that's probably a glare for you guys. Oh, sorry, my camera. So we're up to 7 experience points, and we're now on day 5. This technically is back to round 1. So we can move 3 spaces. And remember I said I believe we were going to get to the next battle by turn 6. So what I want to do is I want to go 1, 2, 3, and then I want to go to this village. Let's get some more items, maybe some more skills. And then I also want to hand in this quest. So we're going to go to Brightthroat Village, and I'm going to slide this up. And let's get out. Brightthroat Village. And we are allowed to look at these before we just make our final decision that we want to move there. So, I mean, I'm okay with this. The inn is closed. We don't need to heal, so that's okay. The guild kiosk is closed. We do have a quest board. Yeah, we're okay. And then we have a Konu monument. Set the weather to the condition of your choice. Do not change the weather during today's activate province step. So basically you can choose to set the weather. All right, first things first, we're going to grab 2 skills to learn. And those are going to be... So this is the magic attack, the staff, and this is a 2-handed sword. All right, and then we have one common item, which is a silver weave small clothes, a pair of undies, and 3 legendary. So, Lucky Horseshoe, Tranquility Pale Ale, and Signet of the Worm. And I believe that's it. I know I'm covering up all the stuff here. And then there's a quest board. Oh, this is getting tough. So with the cleric, this is the skill I was looking for. This is a magic attack skill. So I would be able to start doing damage with the cleric as well as healing. And the damage is just sort of a thing he can do on the side. It's called Destruction Staff. And the level 1 skill... Because here's the thing. I'm not going to be able to get this to level 4. The Destruction Staff level 4, as you can see, does... damage and healing. We're not going to go there. It's too high. I don't have a row to put it in where it's going to be able to share with something else and do well. The level 3 is probably the best one because it deals 2 damage to your target and it's true damage. So that's probably one of the better ones, but that's only if you're dealing with and then this one just straight up defeats a level 1 or level 1-5 enemy. Or if I just stick with level 1 dice, I can deal 2 damage to my target. Now, granted, that's not true damage, but it is a damage dealing attack. Or I can deal 4 damage and 1 true damage to an adventurer. So that's where I may have to damage one of my own people. Or I can gain 2 tenacity and deal 1 true damage to an adventure. Which I don't necessarily want to do, but that's sort of a backfire thing. So yeah, 4 of the sides will do damage to somebody. Or I just say screw it and not do it. I don't know I don't know what the right decision is here. Being all in on the healer thing, I literally have no ability to do damage at the moment. Like I said, I could do more speech dice, which could help me influence the enemy. And sure enough, that had to come up in this town. Out of all the skills. And ultimately, what I should have done is the speech should have gone on my summoner. I should have given the summoner speech. And then, instead of speech for the cleric should have taken the destructive staff. That's what I should have done. By giving the cleric another passive skill like speech, it didn't help. All right, well, here's the deal. Everybody's got 2 actions, and there's like barely enough actions to do anything here. We can get some more quests. Well, first things first is we're handing this guy in. So thank you for your service, mister. You are done. And everybody gain a collective total of 2 bonus XP during that day's reward phase. I'm assuming collective total means it's not 2 each. It's just somebody's getting 2 experience points. Or we can give 2 people 1 experience point. I actually paused to make sure, and yes, that is true. Collective total is the sum, and it's bonus experience, which means I don't move the dial. And basically, I'm giving 2 experience points to somebody. So here's the thing. If I take this destructive staff skill, I can give myself 2 dice because I'm giving myself 2 experience points. I just don't know if that's the right move. Going the whole game without any ability to do damage as the healer is tough. Is there a way I can do damage? Right here. After healing an adventurer, immediately deal a targetable enemy damage equal to the hit points healed. I just need to remember to do that. I don't need this skill. I just need to maximize my healing ability. So, all right, so getting back to the 2 experience points, who am I giving it to? I'm thinking. I think I'm going to give it to my Nord. So we're just going to take, oh, you know what? I'm going to give it to my Archer. We're going to give him 2 experience points like that. All right, so back to regular programming. I don't need the 2-handed. I don't need this, so I'm going to call those a day. When populating a shop, you may add 1 to the selection. Alternatively, you may discard this item and spend 1 saved experience point to choose either the normal or legendary deck. Search it for any card. All right, well, we'll do this so we can populate a shop. Also, I have the frog skin pouch that lets me, while taking a shop town action, I gain an additional item. We don't need that. We're getting all these items. Tranquility Pale Ale. Discard this item, and adventurers may remove a collective total of 10 fatigue from their cooldown tracks. I'll give that to the Breton. Discard this item before rolling during an engage. All damage dealt to your target. This engage is also dealt to all other targetable enemies. Holy crap. I'm giving that to the Archer. And then the Speedos. Remove 1 over fatigue from your cooldown track. I don't know who I would give this to. You know what? The Nord is definitely somebody who would wear a Speedo. So we'll give it to him. All good Vikings wear Speedos. And that's everything. So, well, hold on. I picked up 4 items. And I have 8 actions. So I could grab 3 more quests. I already have 1 quest here, so I can only grab 3 more. So we might as well, and I can do this action 4 times. So if there's a particular quest I don't like, I can do it again. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, I can only keep 3 of them, and I have to make the decisions 1 at a time. So I don't get to see these other ones first. All right. Travel to any peaceful landmark. Select 1. Threaten a cultist. Choose an adventure to drain 2 available. I don't know what that is. That's sword. So hand-to-hand type skill dice. are 3 combat skill dice. An adventurer may gain 1 bonus experience along the day's reward phase. You get an additional town action. Or trick the cultists into leaving, make a social check. Then we can each draw an item. Or we can join the cultists and gain the keyword Dark Blessing. That cracks me up. All right, what's the other one? Enemies ignore all damage dealt to them, including true damage, until all the caches have been removed from the map. When gaining items from caches during this clash, adventurers may draw 3 items, choosing 1 to keep and 2 to discard. If the encounter is successful, complete this quest, and each adventurer may choose to discard up to 4 items. For each item discard, they may untrain a skill die or square stat token, gaining bonus experience equal to the experience cost of that slot. Always gain experience as if the die or token was in the most expensive slot you had trained for that line. So this would be nice, so if you want to get rid of your magicka, you can actually get points for it. You're only getting experience points, though, if you're untraining a skill die. That you don't want. I mean, you could untrain, for example, my priest, my cleric can untrain that combat die, which I never use. And, I mean, that would give me 1 bonus experience, but the point being is I can get rid of the die, and that frees it up for me to grab another skill like the one I was just contemplating. I'm going to do Looter's Dilemma. I just like that more than this anyways, so we'll try it. My archer and my fighter don't need their magicka slots, so those can be untrained. And it says for each item discarded, so you have to discard 4 items to be able to remove 4 things. I mean, I easily have 4 things to remove. And it just may not benefit some people as much as it benefits others. All right, so that's 1. Here's 2. Travel to any peaceful landmark. In any order, untrain 1 trained skill die and roll 1d6. The adventurer must then immediately train a skill die of a level matching their rolled result from the same skill line as the die they untrained. So you can untrain a level 1, and if you roll a 5, you get to grab a... If a skill die matching their rolled result is not available, you instead draw an item. Khajiits and rogues may reroll 5s and 6s until they're no longer 5s and 6s. After each adventurer has done this, complete the quest. So this is a nice way to upgrade your skills. Watcher in the dark. Create a stack of hit points. After the final chip is removed, immediately initiate the following delve. I don't want to do a delve. That's a whole dungeon romp quest. I'm okay with that. If you're currently in Morrowind or not on, you decide it's best not to tangle with discard this quest and draw a new one. If character is 1 and you have no current companions, level 5 becomes a companion. During your next clash, cannot defeat another enemy until a different party member has defeated an enemy. Enemies that would be defeated instead remain at 1 hit point. If the encounter has failed, discard this quest. If you're successful, complete the quest, and each adventurer gains 3 tenacity, gain keyword Speak for the Trees. After completing this quest, set it aside. You may now discard it in town and give each adventurer a free in-town action. If the quest is discarded while the Wood Elf Marauder is in battle, it becomes an enemy. I'm looking for experience points. If an item with accessory, keepsake, or ring trade is available in a shop, you must discard all available items in the shop. Then complete this quest. Each adventure gains 3 tenacity, 2 experience points, and immediately proceeds to the reward phase. No town actions can be taken. This town is closed for the rest of the session. It requires you to take a town there. If you're on the Eyes of the Queen quest, the guild covers for you. I'm going to take that one. I at least get experience points for that one. And here's the last one. Now remember, if I want to take this one, I got to discard one of the other ones. Travel to the southernmost conflict landmark, which we're close to it. Initiate following clash. Complete the quest during your next town encounter and give each adventure an additional town action and 2 experience points during the day's reward phase. You may then attempt to swindle the mage, make a social check. If successful, you can search the deck for a glyph of stamina and gain it. Okay, that's not horrible. While occupying a peaceful landmark, you get a stack of 10, roll a d6, removing chips, and depending on, it's basically a push your luck game. Roll as many times as you would like until all chips are removed or they choose to stop. And then you gain the reward. So you can gain a bonus experience if you're down to 1 or 2, or an item. I mean, this one's a nice peaceful one. This one gives us 2 experience points, but we have to do a battle that's a little kludgy. Those red, by the way, mean it's impassable. You have to put, I don't know, something to show that you can't step on those spots. The only thing I don't like about this one is it's moving us. So the southernmost one is here, and we got to go that way. So we're going to go here to finish our next quest, and then we got to hightail it up, and this is going the wrong direction. So I definitely don't want to do this one. Even though I like the 2 experience points. So then it becomes a matter of, okay, which one of these do I want to do? This one, the whole town is going to close on you, but you gain 2 experience points for it. So you're going to do a town action just so you can get 2 experience points. That's not horrible because the experience points is nice. This one is retraining a skill die, which isn't horrible either. I mean, at the end of the day, you're not coming out with extra dice. You're just possibly getting an upgraded die. Instead of your level 1 die, you could have actually a level 4 die, even though you don't even have the 2 and 3. I mean, it could be nice. I'm actually going to lose this one because I don't think this is as good as it seems. You know, these level 1 dice are actually pretty good on all these skills. In fact, sometimes I'm like wondering, should I be getting more level 1 dice instead of gunning for level 4? And adding a die costs just as much whether it's level 1 or level 4. It's the slot that you're putting it in that's the cost. So that's why I'm not as keen on this one. So anyways, those will be the 3 quest items that we'll take. This one will give us some experience. This one could give us experience. And this one will give us experience. And a weird experience at that. So, so there you have it. That's the end of our day. How are we doing here? Hour and 14 minutes. So now we move. Well, hold on. We go to the end of the day. We can gain our rewards and all that jazz. I'm not spending any of my experience points or anything like that. And so all that means is we get our dice back. So this is a level 1 die. I'm going to go ahead and get this one back. And then we get rid of this light fatigue down here. And we got to do the weather. And the weather for this one, there is no symbol. See at the bottom there? So that means the weather stays the same. All right, so we can only move 2 spaces. We're gonna get to do this conflict here. And we're at the second one. We are on day 6. So we're 2 days ahead of schedule, but that's okay because we got a lot of days to get all the way up to the top to do the final quest. And remember, we only have to do one of those 2 at the top. It's 3 quests total, not 4. We have 4 locations we could go to, but it's 3 quests total. So once we do this, our final quest is up near the top there, and that's it. And we finish our session 1. And we have 12 days to do it. We're on day 6. We're going to do the second one. And then, I have some time to maybe do some of these quests, stop at some towns, try to level up some more. Because remember, when we finish session 1, everything carries over to session 2. And then we got all of session 2, and then we have session 3. So I'm assuming that these things are going to ramp up and get more and more difficult as you go. So with that said, I wish they used symbology. Like this one here requires you to be at a peaceful landmark. It'd just be nice to have symbology at the top, so you didn't have to read all that text all the time. This one is during your next clash, which is what we're doing. We're doing a clash. So this one's in effect, and so is this one. This one has always been in effect. It's just that so far it hasn't been triggered because we were at level 20 or whatever. So that's going to make it tougher. But we'll see. So my card says page 29. All right, I'm going to push this out of the way still. It's the same 2 that we've been using before for our clash. But this time, the entrance is at the bottom. And it looks like this. And then what it's saying is there's only 2 items to lockpick, which is good because we'd have been screwed because we're not allowed to damage anybody. One's here, and the other one is there. All right. One thing I forgot to explain. When you're doing movement points, lockpicking is an interrupt, and you can continue your movement points afterwards. But if you engage, you can't continue your movement points afterwards, I'm pretty sure. I can look that up for the engage part, but I don't think engage allows you to continue moving after. In fact, let me look it up now because I don't want to mislead you. Yeah, so I'm correct. You can't interrupt a move action for another action, but you can and should interrupt a move action for a trigger. And a lockpick or some other type of trigger, like if you step on a trap or something weird like that, those kind of things do interrupt your move, and then you can keep going. All right, let's get our people out. I'm going to put this one here. Oh, we get to see where the enemies are first. Now remember, this one, the people get 4 extra hit points because this is an escalating conflict situation. And our experience points is 7. So we have 4, so that's 28. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a level 20 out of the bag. And we got a Dremora. And that has 9 health, which is turning into 13. Here's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 health. That is a mammoth amount of health for that Dremora. And it's going into location right in front of us. So I might want my Nord to just charge straight forward. Okay, the next one, so what did we say, 28? So next one is 5. So we got a 5, and then we have a 6, 7, and 8, right? All level 1s. However, because of our other quest, these all become level 5s, which is the problematic part. That quest is going to kill us. And so now we have 9 health on this one. Now you can ditch your quest midway. We just don't know if it's going to 3. Sometimes there's a drawback. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this level 5 is the next one. And it goes here. And then this next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Goes there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With 4 more, goes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am not looking forward to this battle. And this guy goes there, which that hurts me, that he's in the way. But yeah, that's where they're starting. Okay, so my original plan, I may have to move some people around here. And remember, we don't have any summons anymore. So, because we completed all of our quests. My original plan was to go 1, 2, 3, pick this lock, finish my movement. But when I pick this lock, per my ability, I get to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more spaces. I would have had 1 more movement point left, and I would have picked this lock. Because remember, I can't damage anybody. Is it damage or kill? Let me look. If there's caches, they ignore all damage dealt to them until all caches are removed from the battle map. Now, I did just give him an extra movement point, so he has 3. I know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to rearrange these. I'm going to put him there and him there like this. We're going to start with the Breton first. So this is the hardest part, because the Breton, that means this person's going to go and not get to do anything. But yeah, I'm going to have the Breton go first. And here's where I'm thinking. So I can do 2 movements with no engage. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and we're going to try to unlock this. So 2 movements with no engage to unlock this one. Because we've got to get them unlocked. We got to start doing the damages here. And, oh, I'm looking at the item already. But, so it's 3 dice rolls, and you need a 2, 2, 6. So, oh my gosh, did you see what I just rolled? A 2, 2, and a 6. So I rolled exactly what I needed. This is unlocked. I got the Glyph of Absorbing. And when the enchanted item would be discarded. Instead, place it in an adventurer's pack if possible, then discard this. So it lets me do an enchanted thing more than once. All right, fair enough. I got an item that I'm probably going to just discard as part of my quest later. So that's done. So now we have this one, who I can't do any damage, so I'm going to just stay where I am. However, I now have this die here, which is my summon die. And I also have 3 tenacity, and I'm going to spend 1 of that to summon the Cliff Racer. So for 3 hit points, I have my Cliff Racer, right? And then I'm going to roll this. And oh my gosh, I didn't summon anything. I just gained a tenacity. All right, so that's 2 people took their turn already. But now I'm on my archer, right? So I'm going to use my 4 movement, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is automatically done. I don't even have to do anything. So we gain this item, the Nord Snowshoes, which would give me movement. And this, he already has 4 things equipped, so this is going to be, he can hold up to 8 though. So he's going to just put this in his inventory, which I'm going to put face down to show that there's nothing to do there. So now the enemies can be damaged. This is divert and dodge. Any dice that miss will add to his defense. Divert just means that he can't be killed unless he's down to 1 hit point. This is Bane and Disrupt. He's going to Bane you, which is not a good one. And then Disrupt is when this unit determines a target, its target must exhaust 1 die from its active slots. The Arcane and Daze. Arcane, the damage is true damage. That's this one. This one has Rotten Rush. The rot is not good. Rush means it can move twice. After this unit is defeated by an adventurer, they gain 1 over fatigue. And then that one is Dodge and Vine Snare. After it engages, its target must drain 1 available combat die. So we got a lot of nastiness out here, but I can finally attack with my archer. Now, granted, I don't get to do damage at the start of my turn, even though there were things in range because of this quest thing, which is now done, by the way. So we do have this resolved. And it says, when gaining items from the cache using this, I get to draw 3 items and choose 1. So technically, when I drew the first one, it was that Glyph of Absorbing, and then or these snowshoes, or the Argonian Tunic. For 2 tenacity, gain 1 bonus hit point. If you're in the Black Marsh province, gain an additional. I am definitely keeping this one of the 3. And I'm giving that to the archer. And then for the other item, 1, 2, 3. Tarragon Chicken. Lose 1 hit point, roll d6, and remove a light fatigue from your cooldown track. Roll d6, heal for that amount. Another adventurer gains 1 tenacity, maybe used multiple times. So you're spending a tenacity to give a tenacity. I like the health potion the most. All right. So the archer is sort of, so this one, he's next to somebody. And remember, he can't range shoot somebody he's next to, but he can range shoot somebody else. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we do get our combat dice back, because at the start of our turn, we get these 2 back. So I'm going to do these 2 and these 2, knowing I still have those 2 skill dice left, and then these slide down. So it's going to be a while till we get stuff back. And then I'm looking at my, I do have an enduring ability that as long as I have 1 tenacity, when selecting a target, I get to increase my range by 1. That's fine. And yeah, I need 4 tenacity to be able to do venom arrows. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and just attack that lurcher up here. because the Bane is not a fun thing to have. So here you can see he's going to get 1 tenacity. And this is 1, 2, 3 damage. And remember, this reduces the defense by 1. And his defense is normally 1, so we pierce the defense. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 damage. And then I can try to attack again. If I do, I take a light fatigue, and I might be willing to do that because I'm in a desperate situation where I need to hit these guys hard. And this is where it gets weird. So I have 2 dice left, right? This one only hits them if you're adjacent to them. This one I can't use if they're adjacent to you. So I really should have used this with the so I should have kept a combat die and rolled this one instead of the combat die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this combat die with this one for my next attack, but I'm going to keep that result, okay? Because it's not fair to re-roll this die. But this should have been rolled with the last one, and you'll see why in a second. So if I roll it, I ended up getting a tenacity anyways, but if I would have gotten, let's say, this result, then I would have done true damage to that target for every level 1 die that was in my queue. And I get to choose the order I resolve them, and so those level 1 dice were put in a queue, so this should have been rolled with them. This is part of me needing to learn my skills. So I do get the tenacity for it, and it didn't change the outcome. And then for this one, I'm going to roll this, and you can see I hit, and that does... That deals a total of 4 damage, distributed as might choose among enemies adjacent to you. Then place yourself in an unoccupied hex 2 to 4 spaces away. So I'm going to do 4 damage with this. And then, of course, this gives me another tenacity. All right, and so I have to take the light fatigue now. I should have done that before I added these skills. And just to help you understand what's going on, this was our situation. And I rolled 1 combat die with it, and then I rolled this with it. Okay, then I took the light fatigue, and then these are the 2 dice I just rolled this round. So we've got a huge backlog of dice. But I did get a lot of damage in. So 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. That was very important. And then I get to move away. How many spaces? In an unoccupied hex 2 to 4 hexes away. Man, what a great question. So 1, 2, I'm going to go all the way back. I'm allowed to. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Well, hold on. I can't. Because now I just blocked the Nord. I just blocked the Nord if I do that. Dang it. The Bane is horrible. You're dealt 1 true damage at the start of each of your turns. But I'll go ahead and go to here in the corner. I just put baby in the corner. All right, then last but not least, we got the Nord. who has 3 movement now because I took that stamina die. And so I can try to finish this guy off or try to attack something else. I don't think attacking something else is a smart move. Let's try to finish somebody off. So I'm going to go 1, 2, but I'm going to move up 1 more for 3 just because I want everybody to attack the Nord if I can. And yeah, we're going to attack this High Elf Marauder. And I have 3 stamina, which lets me roll 3 dice now. And yeah, I'm going to attack this guy right here. So I have 1 damage, 1 tenacity, and then this is my level 2 die. So give me a second on that one. So this one is going to do 1 damage to him. He has 0 shield. The tenacity is just that. I have to gain 1 tenacity. And then what this is it says deal 2 damage for each shield discipline die in your active slot. So this is going to go in my active slot. And so that's going to deal 2 more damage. True damage to him. So 1, 2, like so. So we did 3 damage with that. And then I'm just looking to see if I can spend tenacity on anything. No, I just went through all the tenacity stuff. There's some cool things, but none of them really apply at this moment. And remember, this guy has to be down to 1 hit points before he can be killed. So it's unfortunate that I wasn't able to get him down to 1. And he shoots multiple targets 4 spaces away. So he's annoying. Also, I missed with one of my dice, so he had 1 extra defense. That's his dodge ability, since I rolled a tenacity. So my Cliff Racer is going to go here and attack him. And the Cliff Racer rolls 2 dice. It's combat dice, so we roll the enemy combat dice in this situation. And you can see he only did 1 damage. And because that missed, he blocked it. Because he has the dodge. So that was annoying. And that's our turn. And these guys with a mountain of hit points are going to now pound town us. And I don't know if I'm going to survive this, to be honest. Let me look at my items and make sure there's nothing else I could have done. So far, no, I'm not seeing anything remotely interesting. Oh, I did have this Signet of the Worm. All damage dealt to your target is dealt to all other targetable enemies. Remember when I attacked with the archer? I should have done this. So when I attack with my archer, I attack that. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I did 3 damage to it. So I could have hit all other targetable enemies, which would have only been this one, because he was standing next to him, and that's not targetable. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to it, but I need to remember to use that. Okay, well, this is bad. So the 20 goes first. And it's going to go after 2 targets, 3 spaces away with the most hit points. This one has 4, This one has 5. And so all it has to do is 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So it could just stay where it is. And it's going to attack these 2 targets. And it's going to roll 3 dice. And they hit for 3 damage. And the arcane is true damage. So 1, 2, 3. This one's almost dead. And this one... I can use the homespun jerkin. Reduce your tenacity by 1 to prevent 1 damage. And then I'm going to use overtax to prevent an additional 3. So this is now in the inventory. But basically, I prevented all the damage. But she's in trouble. Okay, next we go to the level 5s. I don't know what the right order is. But this one only has a range of 1 and we'll attack him. This one has a range of 1 and we'll move in and attack him. This one's done. This one hits 2 targets with the lowest hit points. So this would be 1. She's going to die. There's nothing I can do. She's going to die. I needed to actually do another turn. Yeah. Here, I got to retcon something because there's something I could have done that was smart. So, yes, she did try to summon, but she could have taken another engage turn and rolled her combat dice. And see, this would have been another tenacity, which sucks because we needed this. But see, this is a defense die that would have been up here. So now when she took that damage, it was true damage, but she still has the defense die to defend against this jerk. So I'm sorry for the retcon, but that's something she should have done. With all these hit points and everybody out there, that's something I should have done. No questions asked on that one. Then I have... Yeah. Okay. So technically, she is now in a defensive stance because of that change. All right. So yes, this one's going to shoot 2, and it can't shoot who's next to them. So that's the problem. It can shoot 4 away, so it'll back 1 away and then shoot these 2. And then this one will stay where it is and shoot that one. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and do this one first. It has no combat dice, so it's literally going to just put a Bane marker on the archer. And Bane is the bleed. I wish they would just say bleed. But, so yeah, the archer's bleeding. So at the beginning of every round, it's going to take 1 damage. And that's a status. Actually, that goes, I think, in the... it might actually go into the dice exhaust thing, but I don't think it does. Okay, next, I'm going to do this one. It rolls 1 combat die. This might be the only thing that's going to save me because of my retcon decision. So it does do 1 damage, which would have killed her. However, she has that 1 defense, that ding, it basically, she protects herself and she lives for another day. And then, I know that seems cheesy, but that's what needs to happen when you get these big doom stacks. I really needed to be a little bit less aggressive there. The combat dice are no good. Having an extra light fatigue is not that big a deal. So, okay, and then this one takes 1 damage. All right, and then all we have left are these 2, and they're both attacking the Breton. So let's start with this one. He's rolling 2 dice. And the Breton takes 1 damage. And I'm just looking. I'm going to let that happen. And then the other one is going to roll 3 dice, attacking the Breton. And it's 1, 2, 3 for this one. And the Breton is down to 1 health. That was close. Now, I do have a skill in my active slot. I forgot what it does already. Let me make sure it doesn't apply here. Okay, it is. So right here. At any time, you may exhaust this die to remove 1 status die from a party member and heal them for 1. So I'm going to use that on the Bane after the Bane does 1 damage to the archer. So we will use that, just not yet. Okay, they're done with their turn. I have 2 people on lifeline already, and a mountain of hit points to kill still. So who's going to go first? Okay, so this part is tricky. I think I want to start with the archer again. And I want to do it because I want to let the Bane effect happen. And then when we get to the Breton's turn, we can heal it with our ability. Yes, that's what I want to do. So the archer's going to take 1 health. I'm just going to put it here because it's temporary. The archer cannot attack this. Well, the archer's got other problems. It refreshes 2 dice, but it's only going to be these 2 light dice, so it has no dice to attack. So basically, we're running away, brave Sir Robin. Or are we? So we have this sweet roll here that says, discard this item. Adventurers may recover a collective total of 4 dice from the cooldown tracks. So I'm going to use that because I need to survive this battle. And so I'm going to collect these 4 dice right here, and I'm going to roll all 4 of these bad boys. And I have 3 tenacity. And at the start of my turn, I do 2 damage to any enemy in sight. This does not cost any tenacity. So this enemy is in sight. It's not even in range, it's just in sight. So I am going to do 2 damage to this one because I can't kill this unless it has 1 health. So that's going to happen. And then I need to move in such a way where I want to be able to hit all 3 of these. And that means I can't be next to any of them, but they still have to be in range. My range is 4. So if I'm standing here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to move 2 to here. And I'm going to fire 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. I can even hit this one. And I'm actually going to move 1 more to here because now I can hit every person on the board. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. I can hit everybody. And so what skill am I going to use, you ask? I am using lethal arrow. Nope, not that one. Which one am I using? Heal hit points. Number of enemies within your range. That's heal hit points. Well, that doesn't help me. Although I still could use lethal arrow. All right here. Roll 3 status dice and apply them to targetable enemies. That's status dice, though. That's not damage dice. That's not as good as I originally thought. I don't have an ability to hit everybody within range. I thought I did. I mean, I got an ability to heal. Doesn't matter. Where I'm standing is still fine because I could hit anybody. So I want to roll all 4 of these dice, and I think I'm going to go after the Mr. Bane guy there. So let's do that. And yeah, I'm going to roll all these. And so this is 2 damage. This is 1 damage. So that's 3. And remember, these are going to go into the queue, which means that this will do 2 damage because these 2 are in the queue. So that's 5. And then that's 6 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This thing is down to 1 health. And once again, all my dice go into the pool. I do have 3 tenacity, and I'm going to do lethal arrows. I can roll 2 enemy combat dice against a targetable enemy. The rolled damage is true damage. So I can finish one of these guys off. I don't think I need to, but I am going to do the lethal arrows though. So I'm going to spend 2 tenacity. I'm down to 1. And yeah, we're going to roll these, and I'm going to go after somebody else. So this guy uses 3 combat dice, so I want to get this one. And there it is. There's 3 damage against him. And is it true damage? It is. And actually, if it's true damage, I want to go against this one because he has 2 armor. So we're going to go after the guy with the 2 armor. All right, so 3 damage against him. All right, done. I could try to go again with a light fatigue or whatever, but I don't have any dice left. So that's it for him, and I use that item to get a bunch of stuff back, which I'm okay. So with the archer's turn done, I still think we did a lot of great damage. It's the Nord's turn. And so I have guys to finish off. I have this guy, which I want to finish off. But I do think I have to stay focused. So I'm going to go up, and we're going to finish this guy off. And I don't have a lot of dice left, but I do have combat dice. So I'm going to grab... Well, actually, I do have dice. I'm going to grab the 2 that just refreshed at the beginning of my turn. And I can roll 3 of them. Can add a combat die to it. I don't think I need to. I'm just going to go ahead and roll. And there you see, I just did a damage to it, which kills it. And then this was overkill. So, but that does give me a 2nd armor. And that goes there, back down in there. And we just killed this. And I'm just realizing something. I could have moved here and then also tried to kill this one, but I'm not going to. He's my next target. And bear with me because I have to figure a bunch of stuff out here. At the start of any unit's turn. So I can choose to give him an edict, which will make him, anybody targeting that enemy will deal 1 additional damage, but I don't want to do that yet because we're not focusing on him yet. So when I defeat an enemy, I can heal for 4. I have no damage at the moment. I can discard 1 of our active side quests or 2 treasures to deal 10 damage, which is a lot of damage, but so what I'm going to do is I am going to take a light fatigue to go again. And I'm going to attack this level 20 with 3 dice. I'm staying in my stance. I'm just using my combat dice. And you can see I just did 1, 2, 3 damage, but he does have 2 shields, so I only took 1 health off. But that was still, in my opinion, worth it because that guy has a lot of health. All right, so Nord's turn is over. I do have the heavy armor I could use, but I'm not going to. And now we're at the Breton's turn. So the Breton is going to discard. This die was in his active slot. This is a level 1 die that I read it to you a little bit earlier, but basically I can remove a status from another player. So that's gone, and then they heal 1 health. So we get the health back for the archer. So that's done. And then the next thing I got to do is I really got to worry because I got level 5 guys here, and I'm going to use my speech dice to try to convince one of them to join my side. And I have to roll really well because these are level 5s. And I'm going to do it on the guy who rolls the 3 dice. And I did. Look at that. That's a 5 right there. And this is a 4. So I just rolled 9. I could have almost gotten a level 10. So what I did was I successfully convinced this one to join my team. So he's on my team just for this round. And we are on combat round 2, by the way. And then I am going to take a light fatigue because I got to go again. And now I need to do some healing. And I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll these to try to get some healing in. And let's do that. So this one has a 4 on it, and this one is, I don't remember the symbols very well. So let's get this out. So the one with the 4 on it. Well, okay, that symbol is I heal each adventurer for 2 hit points. It's the hasty prayer. That's the one I rolled. And there was 4 sides that had it. That's this die right here. So everybody heals 2. That's excellent. So 2 for her and 2 for him. This is where the cleric is earning his money. And then the other one is this thing with a 4, which is our level 2. That's Breath of Life. Select an adventurer in range, and my range is 3. And roll X combat dice. Heal that adventurer for that amount. And I have a 4. So which one am I going to heal? Well, that depends, because I have 2 tenacity as well, and I actually have stuff I can do with my tenacity. I can heal a party member for 3. After healing an adventurer, immediately deal targetable enemy damage equal to hit point healed. That's right, we have that as well. Or I can spend, I don't have 3, I only have 2. So I could, well, hold on. At the start of your turn, you may gain 1 light fatigue to heal yourself or an adjacent party member 1 hit point. That answers my question. So I'm going to take a light fatigue at the start of my turn. And what that meant is I had to put this here. And that would have healed me 1 more. So that means that the dilemma of where that other health was going to go is here. I'm healing her. So we're all back up to full health right now. And I still have the 2 tenacity. And so I'm going to spend the 2 for snake blood. And I immediately deal targetable enemy damage equal to the hit point healed. So I'm going to go ahead and deal 2 damage to the skeever. But he has 1 shield, so it's only going to be 1 actual damage on it. And that spent my tenacity. But I'm back to full health. I did take some light fatigue to get everything done. I could also take another light fatigue. I think I can do it more than once. I can just keep taking light fatigue. You know what? I will. I'm going to take another light fatigue. And I'm going to switch to defensive stance so I can roll my 1 combat die. And there it is. I got 1 defense. Oh, and I was supposed to roll these dice to determine how much she heals. As long as I rolled 1, she healed a bazillion. Okay. So his turn's over, and now we go to our summoner. Now, our summoner gets 2 dice back. One of these is the light fatigue. And we are going to go ahead and move. And I'm going to go move up 1 space to be next to this person. And I'm pretty sure that the Daedric Summoning level 1 skill, that one does true damage. So I'm actually going to move to here. We're going to do true damage against this guy. And I'm going to roll 3 dice. One of them is a summoning die. And that's okay. I just want to roll 3 dice here. Also, before I start this one, I am going to expend this, and I can pick any adventurer that's in a attack stance Remember, this one is still in attack stance. He is. And so is he. And I can pick 2 of their dice and put it back. They could do an engage or restore 2 of their dice. So I'm choosing to restore 2 of the archer's dice. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to roll these 3 dice right here. That is my target, but I also have a summoning die in here. And my goodness, I just rolled 2 tenacity, which is no bueno. I forgot to check. As long as I have 3 or more, my companion heals 1 after taking damage. And I'm currently at 4. I'm just seeing if there was anything I could have spent. There is not. So I heal myself for 3 if my companion is defeated. Okay, so I'm at 4. There is no such thing as, hey, you get to spend these before you gain them. No, I only gain 1 because I didn't spend them before. So I'm at my max of 5. There's nothing on my warden ability that helps me there. But I wanted to summon a creature. But instead, I just drew this, which is the level 2 skill. So I got to look that up. And the level 2, it's an expert summoner. The combat stat and movement of companions you control are increased by X. After one of these companions engages, reduces die by 1. If this would be reduced to 0, it's exhausted. So it's at a 3. And so I'm going to put it here, even though it's supposed to be on my active status dice. But that's reminding me that this is doing 3 extra damage. And dang it, I really wanted to summon another one of my guys, but it didn't. It's not to be. So this one's going to move up. We're going to finish off this thing. I get to roll 2 dice with my Cliff Racer, but this adds 3 more. So I'm going to add 1. There we go. That's all the dice that are in the game. And so here you can see I just did a boatload of damage. But this one cancels that one. He has no armor. And so, yeah, all 3 of these go through. He's down to 1 health, which is enough to kill him. And our level 5 for this quest thing, we're up to 3 units now. And we need to have 5 of them. And here's the 4th and 5th. So we will complete this quest if we survive this battle. And yeah, we eliminated another guy, which was the important part here. And then this goes down to 2, which is why I'm keeping it on the guy instead of in my active slot. Her moving up to be next to him was really because I thought I was going to get to do true damage to him. And I didn't. I don't know if that was a smart move. I have no defense dice this time around. And I'm not sure I should have done that. But it is what it is, and I made my choice for now. I'm looking to see if there's anything else I can do. I don't think there is. So now, and our summon just went, so we're not quite done. We have 1 more companion. It's this guy. So I can move 2 spaces, and I'm going to move 1, 2, because he has the most hit points, and this guy targets whoever has the most hit points. So I'm going to move 2, but I'm going to attack this guy with 3 dice. And, oh, by the way, this has Rot. What does Rot do again? After it's defeated by an adventurer, it gains 1. Okay, so it only happens. So it just did 3 damage, which this has 1 shield. So, but that took 2 health off of this guy, which I'm very happy about. And yeah, so now we go to their turn. And this is where it gets really cool. This guy is going to attack Infinite. This one will attack 2 people with the most health. So we're looking at this one. Then we get to choose between these, and I'm going to choose him. So it is a range 3. So I think it is supposed to move like 1 space away, like this. Nope. I can move 2 spaces away. So I'll move here. So that way you can range them. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. We get to choose, because this one has 4, this one has 4, this one has 4, and I'm choosing the Nord. And then this one has to be chosen because it has the most health. So he's going to roll 3 combat dice. And here you can see he did 3 damage. This, because of his dodge, gives him 1 more defense, so he blocks 2 of it. But 1 gets through. So dang it, only 1 health hit on him. And then the Nord is going to have to absorb 3 damage. We have 2 here with our shields. So we blocked 2 of it, but he does take 1 damage from that. I'm going to just put the health over here. All right, and then this guy gets to go, and he's also going to attack. He only rolls 2 dice. He's choosing the Breton and this. And you can see 3 damage is going to happen. This one blocks 1, so 2 damage gets through. That was excellent. And then the Breton has 1 shield, so he blocks 1, and then 2 is getting through to him. And yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. So 2 more damage gets through, so he's down to 2 health. But I'm very happy with this situation. This is turning out to be a little manageable. I still think I could still lose this, but this is definitely better than it was. The fact that those speech dice worked against him was fantastic. I mean, we basically just did 3 damage to this guy. And he did damage to somebody else for us. And the unfortunate part is it's only for 1 round. I'm going to make sure, but the only for 1 round is the part that sucks. Yeah, it's only for 1 round. So we are now on to round 3. If we get to round 6, everybody starts taking heavy fatigue, which is not good. All right, who do we start with? I sort of like starting with the archer. I always seem to think that's the right way to go. I don't think it's any different in this situation. So again, I'm down to 1 tenacity, which means there's not much else I could do with the archer there. But at the start of his turn, just for being an archer, if he's in range and he's in bow form, which he is, he deals 2 damage to an enemy in sight. So enemy in sight doesn't even mean in range. So it's just 2 damage to anybody. Obviously, this one has 2 defense, so that's no good. But this one has the dodge, which I'm not a fan of. So we're going to go ahead and damage him for 1 more. All right, so I get to do something now. And the first thing is we refresh 2 dice, right? So this is the die that does the local damage. This, of course, is just garbage. So we refresh the 2 dice, and I can spend 2 dice, or I can attack someone local. Oh, I don't know, honestly. I don't think I want to attack somebody local, so I think I'm going to just spend the 2 dice, because that's all I have. And this will reduce the defense by 1, so I'm going to go after this guy and try to finish him off. And, of course, I get a tenacity, which does not help. This does ignore 1 defense, so I do 1 damage, but I really was hoping to do a lot more than that. So with that added tenacity, I can do lethal arrow, roll 2 enemy combat dice against a targetable enemy, and it's true damage. So that's what I'm going to do. So I spent my 2 tenacity. I'm down to 0, but I'm now going to target the guy with the two shields. This is where it sucks, because I really should kill 1 guy completely before I move to the next. But this is true damage, and that guy has 2 defense, and I really got to take advantage of the opportunities when I have true damage. So I'm only doing 1 damage, unfortunately, but that's still good, because that's like the equivalent of doing 3 against this guy. So I do that, and my archer's done. There's nothing else I can do. I could move next to somebody and attack again. I will. I'm going to move 1, 2 to here. I'm next to him, and I'm going to attack again, which means I have to take a light defense die, or light fatigue. And I'm doing this, which is the volley. And I hit. So I do 4 damage against this guy. So he has 1 defense, so 1, 2, 3. And then whenever I hit with that, I get to back away again to there. So I definitely want to get this guy murder death killed. All right, Archer is done. Now we have the Nord, who needs to heal 1. And I'm looking at his tenacity, and if he defeats an enemy, he heals for 4. So I think that might be what I want to look into, but he has no dice to roll. Well, he has 1 die to roll, so these are the 2 he refreshed. This die here lets him do damage equal to all the shield dice that he has that are still in the shield slots, but none of them are in the shield slots anymore, so this is a worthless die. So there's absolutely no attacking or anything I can do with this guy this turn. So okay, so one thing I did realize with my master, when you gain a side quest, you can heal a full, which wasn't an issue. I can gain 3 tenacity, so technically I'm at the full tenacity. I'm at 5, not 3. I don't think that means anything because I'm not... yeah, nothing I can do yet, but I am changing my tenacity to 5 instead of 3. And it's because when we gained all these quests, back at the last town action, I was able to do that. And then, just so you know, when I hand in the quest, when we complete a quest, which I think means, because like this Looter's Dilemma is completed, but I think it's when we're going to resolve the reward phase, I get to heal to full health and clear the cooldown track, which is pretty cool. So, okay, what am I doing this turn? Well, like I said, I have no dice. I have nothing I can do. But I do have this defense die. So I'm going to go into defense mode and roll this. And so I have this permanent 1 defense, which is going on the edge of my track, right? So I have all these dice queued up. And I do have to move from sword and shield to defense mode. So that might mean something. And I don't have the ability to heal that 1 health. But what I am going to do is I'm going to move... I can move 3 spaces, and I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 like this, and just get in the middle of everybody to make them attack him, because he's better off than nearly anybody else at doing anything. So my plan is to use my companion to kill this. So now we move to the Breton, who needs to heal 2. He needs to heal 1. I have 0 tenacity, so I can't use my healer skills. I restore 2 dice, which are these 2. And this die here is... I can remove a status die to heal somebody. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it. And I get a tenacity, which doesn't do diddly for me. Well, I mean, I get a tenacity, but there's nothing the Breton can do. I can't even heal myself. That's how bad this situation is. So I need to get out of dodge. So I'm going to move 1, 2 spaces away. I have to. I'm in big trouble with him. So these are his health points. This is the Nord's health points. And now I'm going to move to the healer, or I'm sorry, the high elf, the summoner. She gets 2 dice back, and it's just going to be the defensive dice. So she is going to roll them so she can go into defensive mode. And she does roll 3 defense. And so she's not in her magicka mode at the moment. I don't know if that means anything, but right now she's in the defense mode. She does have 5 tenacity, which lets her summon a feral guardian, but the problem is that's on the board, so can't do anything about that. She can have her companion move and engage. If it's a beast, it may move up to 2 additional hexes and increase its combat stat by 2 for this engage. So I can have it do a lot of damage. That means I should have killed this thing. Yeah, I'm going to wait on that. And so, yeah, we're going to have... So she's going to just move to be next to this. Am I going to do that? No, I'm going to just stay where I am. I'm going to force this guy to move away so that way he doesn't hit the Nord. And in fact, I'm going to move 1 space back so it doesn't hit this. And so this is going to move up 1, 2, attack the Wood Elf Marauder. And it normally rolls 2, but it adds 2 more. So now it's 4. And here you can see a crap ton of damage. No dodge goes into effect. And yes, it is destroyed. Now, the Vine Snare was something that they must drain a combat die that's available. There's no available combat dice. They were all in the exhaustion. So don't have to worry about the Vine Snare as much, although that is a nasty one. Okay, so with this guy going, this goes down to 1. And we are done. Okay, this guy has a range of 3. He wants to shoot her and him. So 1, 2, like so. There's the 3, and there's a 2. In fact, doesn't even need to move 2. It can go here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It goes after whoever has the most health, and it's going after 2 people. So her and the archer. And it does 2 damage and then a miss. So for her, she has these 2 shields. So she completely blocked the damage. And what's arcane again? So she dazed them so they can't move and attack. Arcane is its true damage, so she didn't block anything. So she takes 2 damage. And then he takes 2 damage. All right, I gotta look up the status. Do they go into the exhaustion pool? They might, because I'm starting to get confused on, like, although the daze is only supposed to last for that turn, and then it goes away. So let me get my dice out. So she's dazed, and he's dazed. And the idea here is they're not allowed to move and attack. So they can do one, but not both. So that hurts. That was a lot of damage with the true damage, but we survived it. And then this thing is going to hit infinite targets with the most health. And right now the most health is the Nord. But it can move here and also attack the Cliff Racer. So it's going to roll 2 dice. And it does 3 damage. And the Cliff Racer has... Let me look that up. Does that give it health points too? Wow. All right. Well, unfortunately, this is destroyed. So kills him outright. Because he has no defense. So Cliff Racer is gone. And then it also does 3 damage against the Nord, who absorbs 1 of it, but does take 2 more damage. So he's down to 1 health. Oh man, we're in trouble. We're in so much trouble. Okay. Well, we got to keep going. We are on round 4, and that's the other problem. We're running out of time. Once again, I'm going to go with Archer first. Archer does 2 damage to anybody within line of sight. So that's going to be 1 hit on him. And then we get 2 dice back, which are going to be these 2. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attack 1, 2, 3. I can attack either of these. This one is devastating. I have 0 tenacity. Yeah, I'm running out of steam here. I'm going to attack this guy just because I need to kill one of them. This guy is going to finish us off. I'm absolutely convinced with his true damage, we're in trouble. It's just that I can focus on him because he's the worst of the 2, but this one's going to do a lot of damage as well, so I would like to get him out of the way so we can ground pound this one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And oh my gosh, I drew another tenacity. Horrible, horrible rolling. And I do 1 damage, which is blocked. So I do absolutely 0 damage with my guy. And then this goes away. That was miserable. So next I go to the Nord. I get 2 dice back, which are these dice. I have a 3rd die, but it's useless. I do have 5 tenacity. So one of the things I can do, there's not just one enemy within 3 of me, so that doesn't do me any good. I can discard a side quest or 2 items from my inventory and deal 10 damage to an adjacent non-quest enemy. The problem is this is a quest, so I can't do it. Well, no, it's not a quest enemy, though. I'm in a quest, but this is just like a quest enemy is one of these guys with the brown, see the brown bottom? Those are quest enemies. So I think I can do it, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to discard 2 items. The undies and the ornate scabbard. So they're both regular items. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do 10 damage. And I am going to go after this one, who blocks 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is enough to kill him. And that cost me all 5 of my tenacity. But that was awesome. That was absolutely phenomenal. And that might have actually saved us. Now, one thing I want to remind you is I do have a health potion. And I need to think about if I want to use this. The amount of hit points, of course, is going to be random, but I could at least get somebody's health back. Or if I think I'm going to survive this, I just leave it be. And then I got to look at what is my my Breton going to do, and I'm not going to get any of my health stuff back. I only have 1 tenacity, which does let me. If I discard an item, I can heal 1 party member for 3. Yeah, I'm going to use the health potion, and he's going to use it on himself. So we're going to roll a d6. And he rolled 6, so he's going to get all of his health back. Boom. Okay, so Nord's done. Now it's the Breton's turn. The Breton is receiving his 2 speech dice. And unfortunately, all they do is cause this guy to join their side. I could try to sway him, and then that would buy us around because he won't attack us. He has nobody else to attack. There's nobody else that's going to attack him. But I could make it so he doesn't attack us at all this round. You know what? Why not? That's why I got the speech dice for. So I'm going to move 1, 2. We'll use the 2 speech dice. Let's see if we can at least buy ourselves another round. And I only rolled a value of 2, which is not enough. This guy's a level 5. So we failed. And then those go back into our queue. And unless I'm willing to discard an item to gain 3 health, sure. I'll discard this Tranquility Pale Ale. And then I'm going to gain 3 health with somebody. And I'm looking at, he's going to heal himself for 2. Because this guy's going to attack everybody next to him. All right, the mage gets these 2 back. And this one is something that lets you get your dice back. And then this one, you have to be adjacent to the person to attack. So the problem is we're not adjacent to the person. And she does have 3 defense, which is good. So if this thing did attack her, but she does have 5 tenacity, and so she's going to... Oh, no. She would have upgraded to master if her summon would have killed a level 20. We don't have that. Well, okay. I'm not complaining because... Oh, after a companion is defeated, she gains 3 health. There you go. So what is she going to do? Well, she might as well roll this die. She got a tenacity. She's at 5. So it was a complete waste all across the board. Oh, come on. The die is gone, though. All right. And then that's it. So I could have summoned my feral monster to go here and attack. The problem is that would have taken all 5 of my tenacity, and I feel like I need to save it now for whatever the next battle is. I mean, the feral monster, sure, it would help. It rolls 3 attack dice. It does the maim and all that jazz. It looks like it's fantastic, but the idea is I needed it against the level 20. It just so happens I used my thing to kill the level 20 outright. So this guy is going after the most health. They're both tied. And we did not convince him on our side, so he is going to attack us with 2 dice. And he rolled a 2. So the Nord still has a 1 defense, so he loses 1 health. And then this one has no defense, and he loses 2. And now we're on round 5. This is our final round. And then bad things start happening. We have to start taking these over fatigues every round after this. In too many bones, everybody takes a damage, including the enemies. So then it becomes a big attrition thing. All right, so where am I going to go? I'm going to start with the archer again. I always do. I regain these 2 dice. And I only have 1 tenacity. Anybody within range gains 2 damage. So 1 damage on him. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and roll my dice. So this pierces the shield. So it's 2 damage. Just like that. And that's all I can do. I do not have 2 tenacity, so I can't do anything else. All right, next we have is the knight, the Nord. he's going to gain these 2 dice back. He'll go ahead and attack. So this is 1 damage, 2 damage, minus 1 shield. It's 1 hit. And this will go into the shield slot. And then we have the Breton has 1 tenacity. It's going to get these 2 dice back. This one is going to do a lot of healing. It says heal each adventurer for 2. Yeah, he's going to go for it. Let's roll. So he does get it. He heals each adventurer for 2. That is fantastic. So this goes back to 4. This goes to 2. This one gets 2. And she's already full. But he doesn't get to do any damage, though. Or does he? He actually has an ability that does do damage. It is called Snake Blood. He needs 2 tenacity. And unfortunately, he only has 1. So, not able to do anything there. Oh, the Nord. The Nord has a special ability. Once per battle, when performing an engage, add 1 enemy combat die to your engage, plus an additional for every weapon in your inventory. He has 1 weapon in his inventory. So when the Nord attacked this guy, he gets to roll 2 more of these, and then that killed it. So it's dead, and now I'm just doing cleanup. And then we get to the High Elf, who's going to recover 2 dice, like so. This is a level 3. And there you have it. And of course, move back to magic stance. That was a tough battle. It was tough because the quests made it tough. First, we couldn't even do damage to them until we picked all the locks, and then they all had 4 extra health, and then you had this jerk that was just like murder, death, killing everybody. That was not easy, and I had to use that ultimate skill on my tenacity, or otherwise I don't think I would have won, to be honest. I mean, it took us that long just to kill this one unit. That other unit, yes, I would have summoned my big bear for sure. And so the bear could have, absorbed some of those hits or whatever. And the idea is I would have been able to turn into a master if the bear would have killed it. But that would have been really, really difficult. I don't see, I actually, in hindsight, I think that we were going to lose if I did not do that. And yeah, that was brutal. Now, our rewards for this is 2 experience. So I am going to go here and move this up to 9. And let me get everybody off the board. I am liking the synergy of the characters, though. Like the character design, the ones we've chosen and what we're doing with them are good. I feel like the archer is really overpowered compared to the other ones, but without the archer, I think we'd be screwed. And then once the archer ran out of dice, it was very apparent that man, our combat ability of our team just went to nothing. So this one requires a peaceful landmark, and that requires a shop. Okay, so we're going to come back up to here. We're in the reward phase, which, according to the back of the tutorial, we gain our rewards, which was the 2 experience. And we do get a keyword, because we get Underworld Disarray from this. And I do have it written down on my card, wherever that card went. Got it around here somewhere. I know my writing is horrible, but Underworld Disarray is what I have. And we are on quest So this was A, and then B is on page 29. And then we go to page 35 is the last one. And I'm just checking it out real quick. So again, we go to those locations. We got to get there by day 12. Each enemy deploys with additional hit points equal to, so they get 4 extra hit points. And if we're playing on an adept or expert, their defense of every enemy is increased by 1. And then, of course, it's 2 more experience points if we win that one. So, and then C is page 35. All right, so as far as quests go, this one is completed, and we're going to get the Underworld Disarray, but we have to go back to a town, I believe. Yeah, so I have to wait until a town encounter to do this one. So I'm going to just set this off to the side. This is the only one we do now. During your next clash, if the encounter is successful, complete this quest, and each adventurer may choose to discard up to 4 items. For each item discarded, they may untrain a skill or square stat token, gaining bonus experience equal to the cost of that slot. And then they also get 2 experience points. So we're going to start with this character. So we get our item back. Gets 2 experience points, and we're up to 3. Okay, so I'm at 3 experience points. I am going to raise my cooldown to 3 because I'm realizing the power of having a higher cooldown value. So we're going to spend all 3, get our cooldown up to 3. And then for the rest and recovery step, he's already at full health. And then I'm just going to remove this for the recovery step. And there you have it. So he'll have dice ready for whatever the next time comes around. Then we're going to get to, this is our summoner, and we get 2 experience points, so she's up to 3. And I sort of have, I'm okay because I don't have as many dice. And that's why I'm saying I'm okay. So I don't know if I need to go to 3. If anything, I maybe want to get another die. And it's just that, what die do I want? There is a level 4 die, because I've been using the level 3 one. The level 4 one is I can take any level 1 through 5 from the defeated stack. So it has to be a defeated enemy. And I can deploy it as a companion. And a part of me is like, that's the whole point of this, right? Is to have companions. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend all 3 experience. And yes, it's another die or whatever. But these things, though, when they're deployed like this, that die is not needed again until the enemy is defeated. So, yeah. So now I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm all the way up to level 4 with this particular skill. But I don't mind that. All right. And then I am going to I'm going to give these items to another character. So here we go. So now we go to the archer. So I'm discarding these 3 items because per our ability here, we can discard up to 4 items. So these 3 are being discarded so we can, and the funny thing is 2 of them are legendary. It's just, they're really crappy legendary. I'm not a fan of the chip theory cards. So that's 3 of the items. And then the 4th item I'm discarding, the archer has it. It's this one, the Glyph of Bashing. These glyphs are stupid. Maybe I need somebody to teach me how to play them, but most of them are dumb. So I discarded 4 items, which means that I can gain bonus experience 4 times. And I'm not doing it with either of the two characters we just finished. I'm going to now bring the archer up here to the camera, so we can make some serious decisions with the archer. We just gained 2 experience points. We had 2 already, so we're at 4. I think first and foremost, I do need to get the cooldown up to 3. That to me seems like the ultimate thing to do, and now I have 1 experience left. And then I want to use 2 of those cards to get rid of this for 1 experience and get rid of this for 1 more experience, right? So that's going to give me 2 more experience points, bonus experience. And then I'm basically getting rid of the magicka. That opens up slots, I guess, although this skill really doesn't need it. But that gives me 2 more points, so now I'm back up to 3 again. I need 4 to go to the next level. I don't quite have it. I could stop here at 3, or I can just get another die. And first of all, for my rest, I'll get rid of this at the end of the day. I think I'm going to go for another die. So as you can see, I have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next die would cost me 3. And I have... Right, here's my level 3 die. This is the, I chose the rapid fire one. It sort of works, but the level 4 one is the scatter shot. All damage to your target may also be dealt to another targetable enemy. Defense is ignored as if snipe dice may also be ignored for this enemy. Yeah, so basically it's just saying that whatever snipe dice lets me ignore for defense, I get to do for the additional enemy. I think this is a fantastic one. So we're going to get the level 4 bow skill. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is where the level 4 one goes. I don't know if I'm allowed to remove this since there is no magicka left. Can I get this out and use this for another skill? I don't know. That's something I think I would have to look in the rules for, but I'm going to assume the answer is yes. And for now. So there you go. I just gained all that experience and I spent it all and now I'm down to 0. All right, so Archer is done. Then I get the same deal with this guy. So for winning the battle, he's going to gain 2 experience. And then he's going to get rid of these 2 magicka, which is going to give him 2 more experience. So he's up to 4. Right, so we're up to 4 experience with him. And I sort of feel like the same thing. We need to get his cooldown up. Maybe... The problem is if I get his cooldown up, then we're going to be down to 1 experience and he's done. So I will do that. We're going to get his cooldown up to 3. And then for that 1 experience, I think I am going to spend it. And what I'm going to do is I can either add another of these heavy defense ones, right? This one's only if they're adjacent. There's also another one if they're not. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him another health point. Because having only 4, it sort of reared its head here. So now he's up to 5. Oh, and then one of his dice comes back, which I took care of right now. Okay, that was a lot of work. So now we have, and we did this. The bonus XP, of course, was just from discarding the magicka. And yeah, so this is done. And because we finished a quest, my knight, after completing a side quest, heal to full and clear your cooldown track. So his cooldown track is completely clear. And I just realized his 2 combat dice needed to be in his cooldown track. But there we go. Oof, that was a long day. Where are we at now? 2 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah, that took a while. So we are on, that finishes day 6. I have to do weather. Let's do that before we finish the day. It's this, which is flooding. So that means we're going to have a slow slog. We can only move 2 spaces, so we can go to a peaceful spot or this, whatever that is, the unbalanced or whatever, chaotic. I do need to go to a peaceful slot to do one of these quests. So we may end up doing that just so we can get the quest out of the way. And it'd be nice to do a town, but remember, the next town is all the way up here. And we do have some time to get up there. I think even at only moving 2 spaces a pop, we're going to be okay. Now, obviously, this one is not as close as that one. And so let's just do some quick math. 1, so that'd be day 7, day 8, day 9, day 10, day 11, day 12. So it would take every single day to get to where we need to go. Or 7, 8, 9, 10. I can do that in 11. But that's assuming I only move 2 spaces. I can sometimes move 3, whatever. So yeah, that's our situation. And I got to go back to a town for this one to be handed in. A town is how this one can be handed in. And then, of course, I got to go to a peaceful spot for this one. So thanks for watching. Stay awesome.